Happy at work. In times of recession and economic crisis, many workers are trying to make a living to meet the financial needs of their families. Not infrequently, they become employees in a company that is considered not very pleasant working conditions. Many employees are dissatisfied with their careers, but they are forced to do it for the welfare of the people they love. If they are too picky and wait to get a job they like, then they usually can't earn an adequate income. Especially in a situation where finding work is difficult and one should be grateful to still have a source of income for life. Difficulty choosing and having the ideal job can bring pressure and stress on a person. Finally, many workers feel trapped in their own work. At a time when the world of work is not conducive, an employee must be able to manage his emotions and thoughts. In fact, even though the crisis has passed, the unemployment rate is still high, so that even though the jobs are less than happy, they are still maintained. Maybe he can't control things outside of himself such as work procedures, salaries and facilities, all of which still depend on the management of the company. But he can try to train his mind to be able to control his emotions to be more positive. Learn to like the job when you have trouble finding a job you like. Reinforcing optimistic feelings and thoughts that bring happiness when having to work in a type of work that is not too pleasant. Even so, the level of happiness of each employee can be different even though the tasks and obligations that must be done are the same. This shows that most of the happiness in working time is determined by the employee himself. The tendency to be frustrated and depressed, feel anxious or angry, irritable and hopeless can actually be overcome by training the mind to be more calm and peaceful. Cultivate the mind to be wiser and easier to be happy. The question is, can we change the nature and character we have formed from childhood? Can we develop the brain that determines our personality for the better? A survey by Gallup showed that 70% of employees, even though they felt compelled to stay in their jobs, their satisfaction levels continued to decline, and eventually these less enthusiastic workers dropped the company's overall productivity. Several policies were carried out to strengthen the attachment and sense of responsibility of employees to the company in order to provide maximum contribution, such as providing sufficient time off and holding recreational events with the theme of togetherness. While the tips for the employee are advised to be grateful, diligently set some short-term goals to complete long-term goals, rest and listen to music, establish good friendly relations with fellow coworkers, and be open-minded plus continue to be optimistic. Within a few years, a researcher named Richard Davidson and his colleagues conducted research that studied the impact of mindfulness exercises such as regular meditation on neural networks in the brain and their effect on a person's happiness in particular. The results of his study on several senior monks who had decades of training their minds with meditation showed greater activity in the brain part of the prefrontal cortex, which has a strong association or link to happiness. Their brain scans confirm the brain's ability to grow and develop elastically or flexibly. This is called neuroplasticity. Companies can support mental health for employees based on scientific research on the brain through trainings that teach mental processing skills such as meditation and so on. These techniques for cultivating positive thinking can also be linked to the employee's beliefs. For example, Islamic meditation in the form of dhikr activities for Muslims. There are various types of meditation that are not necessarily linked to one particular religion or belief. Meditation is just the name of an activity that does not mean a form of worship that requires faith. Various types of meditation can have various benefits that are useful in addition to calming the mind but also strengthening concentration and the scientifically proven immune system. There is meditation that focuses the mind on a specific object such as repeating a word or mantra, for example, such as dhikr, or by focusing the mind to only be aware of the breath going in and out. Focusing on one thing will calm the mind because it trains the brain not to think about many things at one time. The brain can rest and recover from the stress of existing problems. Practicing sincerity and awareness to surrender is another form of mental exercise that can help train a person to deal with stress. The practice is the opposite of concentration meditation, which is to widen the sensory focus so that the mind feels free and free to be aware of the present that is being felt. This exercise can reduce brain waves for a moment so as to achieve deep relaxation. Another type of meditation is to cultivate positive feelings like love from the heart, trying to forgive yourself and others and even love your enemies through prayer and charity. And companies can help facilitate these spiritual activities to improve employee performance efficiently without the need to overhaul work procedures or add expensive facilities. Meditation and various self-calming exercises have been scientifically proven to help increase a person's happiness and benefit both physical and mental health with an inexpensive investment. This mental exercise, such as meditation, does not mean a particular form of religious worship, although the company can relate it to the religion and beliefs of the employee to increase its effectiveness and strengthen the morality of its employees. There are already many companies that provide meditation training and the like to improve the quality of their human resources. Another advantage of meditation training for management is the increased intuitive ability of executives to make strategic decisions for the company's progress. Improving the skills of leadership and executive employees in creating visions, developing creativity to innovate, and growing emotional intelligence can also be done with meditation, which I will discuss in subsequent articles on this blog. Peace.